De la ciutat esportiva Joan Gampar, per tant, escoltem Andy del partit contra el Depor.
Bona tarda a tothom. Si podeu anar seient, comencem.
Well, hello and good afternoon, or evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. In a moment, we're going to be beginning Luis Enrique's press conference ahead of tomorrow's Liga game against Deportivo.
Comencem. Marc Brau.
Bona tarda, míster. Marc Brau de Barça TV.
Good afternoon.
Quins són els perills més grans que us pot plantejar?
Asking about the biggest dangers of Deportivo tomorrow, who've got a new manager, of course, in Pepe Mel, and if that's perhaps one of the biggest warnings of tomorrow's game. Well, everything you just said. The change of manager. A week when they've got 5 points this week, which was very positive for them. A week, even though it's been 3 games, isn't enough to really imprint his style on the new team. He's not really had time to train because he's had matches to deal with. But I'm sure they'll be a very dangerous opponent playing at their stadium. So they've got a lot to say. There's still a lot of games left in the league. Talking about the historic comeback, perhaps one of the big challenges is for the players to come down from the cloud and all the excitement of the last few days and to get their feet back on the ground. Yes, no doubt about that. It's definitely a handicap. A handicap we need to resolve. But I am faithful about the wisdom and experience of my players who know that we still have the rest of the league to deal with and we still have to play a lot of games and keep showing the level of football we can play. So, yeah, it's going to be a very difficult run into the end of the season. We need to keep performing. Talking about emotions, but also physically. There's an intense period ahead with games midweek as well now, because Barcelona is still in the Champions League, of course. Yeah, we've been looking at today's training session to look at the condition of the players, the ones who were particularly heavy on the workload against PSG. We'll need to analyse that for tomorrow's game. And looking ahead at the rest of the season, it's going to be a tough fixture list, and we've got the players who will be going away with their international teams. It's going to be very tough. So everything has yet to be decided. Talking about the historic comeback, etc., etc. But also a lot has been said about the refereeing. Do you think people are saying that to take away the credit of the win? Pass is the answer to that. No answer. The win, the way it was done, so epic, has that reinforced the morale and the union, if it could have been any more united? And can we perhaps talk about the treble again? Yeah, well, it's a stimulus for everybody. Union, there always has been maximum. That's why we're a team. The new players, the old players, everybody needs to be united, and for a long time, if not forever, it's always been united at this team. It's nice to celebrate titles, but also we need that union to overcome defeats, and that's something that they have demonstrated this week. About everything positive and negative, what has surprised you most about what you've read in the press? What have you surprised most by? I don't know. You know, neither good nor bad. Whether we win or lose, I don't read the press. I'm not interested in those things. That's not my job.
Buenas tardes, Carlos Escolán en directo para Marcador Internacional. Buenas tardes. Del partido de mañana.
Tomorrow's game, what worries you? All of the furore after the game against PSG, or playing against a new manager who hasn't lost a game yet. I'm focusing on Depor, their footballing qualities, the resources they will deploy against us. That's what worries me about the weekend. It's a special weekend because of what's happened in the build-up, but at the end of the day, it's 3 league points we need to win, and we need to keep improving. I'm very worried about Deportivo, and I'm focusing on Deportivo.
Buenas tardes, José Agustín, Onda Cero para el Radio Estadio en directo. La victoria del otro día y cómo se produjo puede tener un efecto.
Again, asking about the win, how that could psychologically affect other teams who think Barca are a team that are capable of anything. Well, there are different ways of reading that. Depending on different results, people come up with different verdicts, so let's wait and see what other results we get.
Aquí, Luis, Alex Torres del Nacional, deies que el partit del PSG va ser especial.
You said it was a special game against PSG.
I si l'heu preparat d'alguna manera que no ho hàgiu fet durant la temporada. Gràcies.
Whether he's approaching things perhaps in a different way to the way he's done things before. No, we prepare for every game with the same intensity. The objectives are the same, to win points. We don't really change anything. Okay, there are small minor adjustments that we always made, but those are normal things in any football team. That's what managers do.
Buenas tardes, Luis. Antonio Juan Martí del Diario Sport. Siempre comentas que la preparación física hasta
you always
al tramo final de la mejor.
Talk about fitness training, focusing on the run into the end of the season, and perhaps in inverted comments, that's why Barca have been very lucky, because we're generally been quite lucky with injuries, and going into the final stretch of the season, there's that plus of energy. We don't prepare seasons to be 100% at the end. We prepare to be 100% all the time for every game. There's something of a cliche that people say, but nobody can plan for these things. The players take on different workloads. It's a question of working on things on a day-to-day basis. It's the difficulty of running teams in such a loaded fixture list as we have to contend with. Tomorrow's game is important, but are you aware of what was achieved on Wednesday, and the club and the media impact and the videos we saw of the fans around the world reacting after Sergio Roberto's goal? All we're aware of is that everything still has to be decided. There will be 8 teams left in the Champions League. The league is really us against 2 other teams, and we're in the cup final. That's the reality. That could mean no titles. It could mean 3. We can't evaluate or assess until the end of the season. All we can control right now is what we're going to do on the pitch against Deportivo La Coruña.
Me gustaría saber, a partir del miércoles, ¿qué ha cambiado en tu día a día?
What's changed in your day-to-day since Wednesday? What have you done personally? And perhaps explain about how you felt the day after. Nothing's changed. It would be a little bit crazy to change something just because of what happened in 90 or 95 minutes. No, nothing has changed.
Hola, Luis. Bona tarda. Quim Robert, de TV3. Està clar que des que vostè va apostar per al canvi de sistema i passar al 3-4-3...
Talking about the change to the 3-4-3 system and how much things have improved. Are you conservative? Would you stick with that for the end of the season? Conservative? I'm not sure if that's the word to describe me. I have nothing to conserve. Forget that word conserve. We just do what's best for the team. Whatever.
Hola Luis, Juan Enrique del diario El País. Con el cambio de sistema, Rafinha fue como el gran...
Talking about the change of system and how Rafinha seems to have been benefiting somewhat invisible, and he seems to be benefiting from it. And how do you analyze his contribution? Well, when there's changes of systems, there are changes of positions, changes of players. So I am happy with the way all the players, Rafinha, of course, included, all the players that participated and those that didn't. That's about squad management. Disregarding the system we use, we still need to run the squad, and things have worked out well. Talking about the ups and downs of seasons, and perhaps this has been the toughest on dealing with the media kind of angle. Well, no, this happens every season. We have these movements. The players are used to that. We're all used to that. It doesn't take us by surprise, perhaps the newer players more than others, but we're all adapted to what playing for a club like this is all about. Still alive in the 3 competitions. Has that increased the need for a replacement for Aleix Vidal? We always look at possibilities of improving the squad.
Javier Gascón, de Mundo Deportivo. ¿En qué ha evolucionado Neymar desde que lo conociste?
Talk about Neymar, how he's developed in the 3 years you've known him. Evidently, if we say that only young players can develop, then he's developing as he really should do and more. Very positive since he came to Barca. He's one of the best players in the world. But all the players are evolving well. It's always good for them to be looking to improve. 2 more questions.
Sí, Martí Molina, Diari Ara. Et volia preguntar per Rakitic.
Rakitic and the extension of his contract. What does Barca win from that? Well, yes, it's good news. Important playing member of the squad, staying at the club. That's always good. He had offers from other teams. But in Ivan's case, we're very happy with his performances, with what he's achieved here. The way he's always looking to improve. It's very good news that he's staying here.
Después de la remontada frente al Paris
Back to the comeback. Fans have said that they would like Luis Enrique to stay. Have you been getting that feeling on the street? People asking you to readdress your decision? I haven't left my house, so I've not spoken to anybody in the street. That's the answer. Don't forget, we've got training coming up at about 4:30.